Greetings, BArcadians, and welcome to another episode of Gaming News Weekly with hopefully your favourite hosts, me, Tabs, and my good friend and channel comrade, Rich. Say hello, Rich.
Hello, how are we doing, everybody?
Yeah, I hope you've had a good week. So, yeah, we're filming a little bit earlier this week. It's on a Wednesday night for us. We'll release this on the Friday, so forgive us for that. We've just had some logistics this week to sort out. But as ever, we have we talk about what we've mostly been playing in any given week. We move on to the kind of main feature, which covers 3 of the biggest stories we could find this week in video games. And then finally, we rattle off everything we couldn't feature in the main in our everything else section. So that's what Gaming News Weekly is all about. If you haven't already, please smash the like button. Make sure you've subscribed and ring that bell for notifications. And let us know what you think in the comments. If you want to see anything different from us, if you enjoyed what we talked about, if you've got any perspective on the news stories this week, anything you want to talk about, we're always happy to chip in and have a natter. But Rich, shall we move on to what we've mostly been playing this week, which there's quite a bit to talk about again, I should think.
Yeah, not too bad. I probably haven't spent as much gaming time as last week, I would say. I'm stuck on 12 minutes and I've not managed to get back to it yet, which is annoying. I keep thinking about it, like on the daily, I'm literally thinking, what could I try? But I haven't actually got back to it yet, which is a bit of a weird one. I think it's that kind of game, it's a thinking man's game a little bit. And then we've played quite a bit of Legends, haven't we, Tabs? A few nights, 3 or 4 nights since last week, which has been really good fun. And it's been cool to try out some of the new things. I really like the new Rivals mode. I feel it's so much more fun to play than the big IO story thing, which just seems to take forever to do.
The raid, the raid is hours long, isn't it? Especially
given the fact you've got to coordinate with me and Tabs and 2 others, so 4 people in total, and it is tricky and it is tough. So yeah, it's been interesting. What about you, Tabs? What have you been playing?
Yeah, I mean that's the story this week for me. Ghost of Tsushima Legends. I really enjoyed getting back into it, and what they've added to the experience, I think, is decent. You know, they've got this Rivals mode, as you've mentioned. They've kind of hired the ceiling on your leveling and your kind of RPG building of your character, and in an interesting way, which I've enjoyed. And I think they've thrown in a few more legendary weapons and things like that. So yeah, it's I really like the mode, and it's nice to see that they've just put some more content out there. It does make me think, and I don't think I'm the only one to think this. I think there's some people out there that have suspicions that they might try and turn Legends into like a live service sort of a game, where they keep building on the experience and keep you returning to it. And to be honest, mate, I get so much out of it. We've always said about Ghost of Tsushima and the combat. It does get to a point of repetition with Legends at times, but there is a real satisfaction from the combat that it does take quite a bit for me to get really bored of playing it. Hence why I'm nearly up to top level, aren't I, on this new game, much to your annoyance.
Unfortunately, yes. But that's because you've played about 700 hours this week and I've played about 3. So that's the difference there. But yeah, no, I agree with that. I think it's a compelling enough game that even if they said, okay, these new items, they're £3, this new branch of parts to the game is, I don't know, £5 or £10, I'd be like, you know what, I'll do that. I enjoy it. It's one of the games I've really enjoyed playing online. It's really good online. I really enjoyed it. I would say the raid, in some respects, less so because of how difficult it is and how demanding it is in terms of your time and stuff, but certainly the whole rest of it really enjoyed.
I think they could easily go down a Destiny sort of vibe with it and create some kind of micro open worldish areas that you can share with a few other people online, either randoms or your friends. And then you do stories, you complete things there to pretty much mine resources to keep yourself leveling up. And obviously they just need to keep shoveling in the gear to actually level 4, to give you that incentive. And then just keep introducing fresh raids every so often. I think it could easily find a little niche for itself, but we'll have to see. I don't know whether it's one of those things that Sony have ask Sucker Punch just to throw out to keep us busy as they, seemingly struggle with deadlines due to COVID. It's hard to say for sure, but I'd love to see it turn into its own thing. But anyway, mate, it's enough rambling about that. That nearly became a story in and of itself. Let me take us on to our first article this week, which reads Sony Horizon Uturn. So this comes courtesy of GameSpot. This is what they had to say. Sony has announced that it's reversing its previous decision that standard and special editions of Horizon Forbidden West on PlayStation 4 would not be eligible for a PS5 upgrade. Originally, those who purchased the Digital Deluxe, Collector's or Regala editions of Horizon Forbidden West on PS4 were able to get the PS5 upgrade. Now, anyone who purchases the game on PS4, regardless of which edition, can upgrade for free on PS5. So I think this is Jim Ryan. Last year, we made a commitment to deliver free upgrades for our cross-gen launch titles, which included Horizon Forbidden West, explained Sony President Jim Ryan. While the pandemic's profound impact pushed Forbidden West out of the launch window we initially envisioned, we will stand by our offer. Players who purchase Horizon Forbidden West on PlayStation 4 will be able to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version for free. Ryan also said that going forward, any new Sony-published first-party exclusive cross-generation title will come with a $10 digital upgrade option from PS4 to PS5. This applies to upcoming titles such as the next God of War and Gran Turismo 7. So yeah, I don't know if that came across too well, Rich. Felt like the article was read a little bit strange, but I think in a nutshell, they weren't going to allow this PS4 to PS5 upgrade. Or at least there was going to be a cost. And then there was a big uproar about that because of previous promises that were made. And now they've said you can do the PS4 upgrade to a PS5 version of Forbidden West for free. So essentially, I think everybody's now saying, well, it's pointless buying the PS5 version, which costs $10 more or maybe £10 more, I'm not sure for us. You might as well just get the PS4 version and then upgrade for free. Yeah. And then obviously going forwards, he's saying though that all future games will be upgradable for this $10 amount. So I think this all could have been avoided essentially, mate, had they just thought a bit about the situation. Because I think the biggest argument was a lot of us haven't yet been able to get our hands on a PS5. And if you're forced into buying the PS4 edition just to play the game because you can't find a PS5 in the shops, well, then there should be an upgrade path for you when you can, find the new console, move on to that system. Whether they were saying, I don't think there was necessarily an upgrade path at all. It was almost like you have to buy the PS4 version or you buy the PS5 version. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. I'm a little bit confused by it myself, but what are your thoughts on it, mate?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's great that they're going to give the upgrade. That's really good. I just think, like you say, a little bit of mismanagement here, a bit of a misstep, because originally, like you say, they were saying basically only people who got like a later edition that came out later, such as the Digital Deluxe or the Collectors or whatever, you couldn't get it basically. But now any version can get it, which is really good. But I just think someone needed to put a bit more thought into that before making that statement. Because obviously people who, like I've borrowed your edition at the moment, which is just a standard edition, or it might be, or does it include the expansion? I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, that wouldn't be eligible previously for the upgrade, but obviously now it is. So I think it's a good thing ultimately, but yeah, a bit of a misstep, bit of a PR disaster leading into it. But there we go.
Yeah, clearly it was in their power to just sort it as they have and responded to, which fair play to them for owning up to it and putting it right. But yeah, it just makes you think, doesn't it, how decisions like this get made, because they can be so easily avoided.
Absolutely.
But anyway, Rich, move us on, mate. Story number 2 today, hopefully a bit more straightforward than that. Absolutely.
So probably one of the most exciting things of this week, which is happening tomorrow in our timeline, but it will happen yesterday when you're watching this, guys. It's the PlayStation Showcase details and predictions. And this comes from Games Radar. The latest PlayStation Showcase is coming this week on Thursday, September the 9th, to discuss the future of PS5. More specifically, expect new information on upcoming PS5 games, given that Sony has preemptively ruled out showcasing anything VR related. Excellent. as it looks as what's in store for its flagship console. Having skipped E3 and Gamescom this year, Sony has, we hope, plenty to show off this week, telling us to expect updates from PlayStation Studios and some of the industry's most imaginative developers for games releasing this holiday and beyond. During an event set to run for around 40 minutes, which is fantastic. After that, Sony encourages viewers to stick around after the presentation to get more updates from some studios and teams featured in the showcase. So that sounds like it'll be a bit of a Treehouse-esque scenario like Nintendo did after there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, yeah.
And then, so what could we see? So here's some of the games we might see. Obviously, God of War Ragnarok, I think that's got to be nailed on. Surely they're going to start building the hype for that now, especially now we know Horizon Forbidden West is out in February, I think it was. And obviously, we may see some more of Horizon, which will be really good. Gran Turismo 7, I think we might see some more on that. It would be great if that was out for Christmas. Last of Us 2 multiplayer, that's a possibility. That's been rumbling. The original Last of Us remake, Elden Ring, Death Stranding. Sorry?
Yeah. Last of Us, the remake, it's just a rumour, I think.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah. And Elden Ring looks really good, doesn't it? I'm liking the look of that.
It does. And Death Stranding Director's Cut, which we know is out in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time. Final Fantasy 16, be really good to see some information on that. And then we've got a few speculative ones. Infamous title, don't know. Blue Point game, who knows? And then maybe
which could be MGS, mate. Blue Point, there's rumours.
I would be very, very happy if it was. I think my head might explode if there's an MGS remake on it. My head will explode.
Yeah, I'd love to know what they mean by the most imaginative developers. Is that a nod to indie developers, maybe?
It must be,
and then the PlayStation Studios is obviously all their in-house stuff. Yeah, it sounds like that. I think for me, mate, 40 minutes is a good runtime.
Yeah, it really
but if they got Ragnarok in there, and if they get... Let's have a look. They got Ragnarok in there, Elden Ring, give us another showing of that. And then, something like Final Fantasy 16, give us another, little teaser into that. I think I'd be fairly happy, even if, the filler around it is just updates, promo spot for Director's Cut, Death Stranding, some indie titles. I think I'd be pretty happy. But, it'd be fantastic to get some big surprises. And the Blue Point, the rumours we've heard there about Metal Gear Solid being remade. Obviously, there's even talk of Silent Hill, isn't there? You've even heard some ludicrous stuff about a PSP 2, haven't you? Yeah,
there's some crazy rumours going around at the moment, like stuff that are so unlikely to happen that someone's just gone, I'm just going to throw this in the ether and see what happens. What I don't want from this event, and we've seen this a lot in the last sort of probably 12 months, is 35 minutes of filler. And I'm not just talking about Sony here, I'm talking about Xbox, I'm talking about Nintendo, everybody has done it. 35 minutes of filler. And then right at the end of it, a trailer that blows your mind. But then because of the fact it was 35 minutes of filler, you still only give it a 6 or a 7 out of 10 for its breakdown. What I want to see is some hard hittings, like real good stuff all the way through. Keep you entertained, excited, all the way through to a crescendo at the end. That's what I really want to see.
And they've not got a bad track record with that kind of curation in their PlayStation Directs. So I am hopeful. And I feel like this is Sony's to kind of mess up on, isn't it? They've obviously taken their sweet time following E3 to put this together and bring it out in their own time. And that's going to give them a bit more pressure, a few more eyes on them to really deliver here. They've announced that it's going to be 40 minutes. It's going to have showings from PlayStation Studios and imaginative developers. That sounds like a real confident sort of fanfare for this. So I'm really hopeful that it is going to deliver, in terms of that kind of, like you say, an experience which builds up to a crescendo and is just perfectly layered and paced with all the things you kind of want to see as a PlayStation fan. So I'm confident, but you never know, do you, these days with video games and COVID-19. It causes all sorts of issues, so it could be set for disappointment. But let's be optimistic, and I can't wait to tune in. Of course, everybody will know at this point, Rich, won't they?
Absolutely.
Have you got any wild, ambitious predictions you want to kind of nail to the mast and see if you proved right or wrong?
I think straight out of the gate, first thing we see, Silent Hill.
Oh, that is brave. That is real brave.
And that's it. Everyone's hooked then.
I'm going to say straight out the gate, God of War.
Yeah.
I don't know. That could be an ender though as well. Well, no, let's be really optimistic. Straight out the gate, God of War. We get another real story trailer of Horizon Forbidden West at some point.
Make sense. Yep.
And then let's say it ends with whatever Blue Point Games are working on, and I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm going to go for a Metal Gear Solid game.
It's definitely Metal Gear Solid. It's like the worst kept secret in gaming at the moment, I think.
I just wonder if they'll try and do a soft reboot as opposed to a remake of the original.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my vague outline anyway. But mate, do you want to bring us on? No, it's me now, isn't it?
It's back to me. Yes.
God. Anyway, let's move on to the third story, Alan Wake Remaster. So, friend of the channel, Ryan, will no doubt be clapping his hands as he watches this. Because apparently Rich, he loved the original, didn't he, back in the day?
He certainly did. He told me that yesterday.
So anyway, this article comes from Kotaku, and this is what they had to say. Today it was announced that Epic Games will be publishing a remaster of the 2010 Xbox cult classic Alan Wake later this fall on PC, Xbox and PlayStation. The company had previously announced a deal with Remedy Games, the development studio behind the bureaucracy-set blockbuster third-person shooter Control, to publish two of its projects. The first was a AAA multi-platform release, and the other a smaller game set in the same universe, which many are now assuming to be the Alan Wake remaster. For those of you unfamiliar with Alan Wake, the game absolutely whips, Kotaku said. It follows the story of the titular Alan Wake, a Stephen King-esque horror writer, as he confronts nightmares in the Pacific Northwest. While its flashlight-based combat was a bit clunky at times, the game was deeply engaged with the sense of place and mystery it created. Its narrative played a lot with fiction, perspective, and the power of language, and is now widely considered a classic of the Xbox 360 generation. So yeah, mate, I'm not much of an authority on Alan Wake, but I said to you before we started filming that I remember seeing it in the magazines back in the day, and maybe on a few demo reels. I remember thinking, I'd love an Xbox for that. You know, there was a few of those select titles like Halo like that. I remember, was it Oddworld Stranger's Wrath? Got me really interested at one point as well. That you'd look over the fence and you'd be like, oh, yeah, that looks pretty good. So this always, tickled my fancy in that respect. So yeah, nice to see them to bring it back. And I just hope it lives up to the fan base out there. Ryan, you should have to let us know, my friend, in the comments what your thoughts are and what you hope as a die-hard fan. But my friend, shall we start to wrap this up with everything else? Any more thoughts to share?
Yeah, let's go everything else. I don't know a lot about Alan Wake, so I don't really have much to say. I mean, if it's a really good game, it's cool that they're going to remake it. That's really cool. But yeah, I don't know.
Moving swiftly on.
Yeah. So everything else, let's do this. So first up, we have got DS Director's Cut final trailer drops, and it looks crazy. I saw one article saying it was like a psychological horror, the way the trailer's been depicted. And I have to say, it looks incredible. I think it's a really well done trailer. It's like 4 odd minutes long, so yeah, excited for that.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks out or something.
I've got to say, mate, I've had a busy day today, so I only saw it through once at lunch, and didn't have much of a focus about me. But I just remember it was like screenshot, boom, title, boom, screenshot. Yeah. It was very in your face, and it did give like a real kind of flavour of some of the things we'll see in the game, and it looked very interesting and intriguing, that's for sure. But I mean, do you think it's going to, just very briefly, do you think it's going to reach out to those who didn't play Death Stranding originally and kind of hit a note maybe
I think there's a good chance it will, and for many reasons really, but one of the main reasons I think is we're a bit game scarce at the moment, and I think it will be a real good, it's dropping at a very nice place where there's not really a lot else to play at the moment. I think lots of people will go, well actually I didn't play the original, but it has got some like quality of life things in there that will make it maybe slightly more to my taste. So, I'll dip my toe in the water and see what it's like. So I do think it could it could have a real nice buff on this. It wouldn't surprise me if it sells quite well. So we'll see though. We'll see.
We don't need to try and sell it on the channel to the BArcadians. I'm pretty sure most of the followers we have are former Death Stranding diehards themselves.
Absolutely.
So we'll move on. But next up we've got Kena, Bridge of Spirits sequel unlikely, says developer. Blimey, it's not even out yet, is it?
No, I don't think it's out till the 21st, which I thought this was a very strange thing to say. They say she may appear in different mediums. Didn't go on to say what he meant by that. Whether that's in like TV shows or as characters in other games. I thought that was a bit weird, but yeah, a bit strange. I mean, because you'd think if it sells well, surely they would make a sequel, but maybe not.
Yeah, it's not even on sale yet. How can they judge anything yet? I mean,
yeah, it's weird.
I'd almost suggest that they're not expecting it to.
Yeah, almost like they're laying the ground, like the groundworks for it to be not very good.
Disappointing.
Which is a bit weird, but hopefully not.
Fingers crossed. And then last of all, no, you go, mate. Keep treading. I don't know what I'm doing today, mate. Sort us out, will you?
No worries. So finally this week we've got Mass Effect 5 development reportedly won't even begin fully until 2023. So that suggests we're not going to see Mass Effect 5 till what, 2028? I would say at least. Crazy. I'm done now, chaps.
Are you done?
I'm done now, yeah.
My turn again.
Yeah.
Apologies, BArcadians. It's been a long day and the grey matter is struggling. Let's leave it there. But no, thank you very much for tuning in this week, if indeed you did. As I said at the top of the video, make sure you've liked to support what we do and try and grow and popularise the channel. Fight that pesky algorithm. And if you're not already, subscribe today and ring that bell for notifications to stay up to date with everything we do, which is mostly the news at the minute. But maybe at some point when we get some more time and energy, we'll get back to some of our other videos. Absolutely. We'll have to see. But thank you very much, and I think, Rich, that's another one for the archives.
Absolutely. Stamped and completed.